We are backstage at Susquehanna Breakdown with Vinnie, the drummer
What's
of
up?
Floodwood, and Mo. And so one thing I want to ask about is, you know, a band like Floodwood, you're out, you're touring, you're headlining, you're playing these lengthy sets, and then you're throwing on a festival gig, and you got to cut your set down. So what's that like? Is the set's obviously got to be cut down. The audience is different. Not everyone's here to see you. And do you got to like reel in some of the improvisation too, because you can't go out too far?
Well, what we try to do, we have, you know, we're a young band. We've only been doing this a couple of years. So we have, let's say we have 45 songs. Some of them we call the hits because they're pretty strong. We play them quite a bit. And then we have other stuff as well. That some of it that improvises, some of it that doesn't. I think we all pretty much feel that all of our songs are pretty strong. So when we do a festival set, we might cut it down in number of songs that we play, but you know, we have a pretty good rotation of songs. So there's not a lot of we have to play this, we have to play this, we have to play this. There are a few songs like that we do play, and we still try to, because we came out with our first CD, you know, just under a year ago. We're still trying to play some of those songs from the CD, which is called This Is Life, which you can get on iTunes. Anyway, so we do try to do some of that stuff on, you know, that's on the CD. We also did a live CD called This Is Live, which has some of those songs and some different ones. So, yes, we do cut it down. We don't really shorten up the improvisation. You know, we just kind of we go out and try to put the best set that we can for each situation.
Right. So obviously Mo is known primarily as a touring band,
Yep.
and with your time off, you're now touring with Floodwood. So you guys all have families. Wouldn't you just rather be home, or you know, why start another band and do this?
That's funny. Yes, I would rather be home sometimes. I really like this music and this band a lot. I started out, some of the first music I played when I was playing professionally in Buffalo, before I was ever in Mo, was in a band that did a lot of bluegrass, a lot of acoustic music, a lot of roots music. So it's really close to my heart, and it's really where I cut my teeth and learned how to play a lot of different styles of music. So to go back to it, but now be in a band that is writing its own music, that's doing that kind of stuff, is like, for me, is a big thing. Plus the band is killer. And, you know, I could use the money.
Sure.
I think everybody can use the money. I got 2 kids I'm going to start putting through college in a couple years, and the extra money I can make. Not that I'm doing it for the money, but
Doesn't
you know,
matter.
it's all the above. Would I love to be home all the time? Yeah, but I mean, I don't think that anybody, you know, can pass up, you know, extra work at this point.
Yeah.
You know,
Now,
especially to do this
Right.
with these guys.
So with Mo, you guys have been, you know, around for I guess it's over 20 years now.
Yeah.
As a band.
Be 25 next year.
You're playing, you know, pretty nice sized rooms. I assume traveling in tour buses.
Yep.
And then when you do the Floodwood thing, everything is scaled down a little. Is it not that you guys are like spoiled rock stars, but was there any adjustment period of, okay, now we're driving, we're vans, we're smaller places, the green room isn't as great? Like,
You know, it's funny because there is that sort of, but it takes you back 20 years. Like, there's an excitement to the fact that you're in a van and that you're playing small places and you're trying to build something.
Right.
So there's like this, and there's a hunger to it as well, that, you know, you get, not that Mo's complacent or but you get comfortable in that sort of situation. You come down to this, and then you get into that hungry situation again. Plus, we got a couple guys that haven't been in that other situation.
Right.
So they're in the van, they're having a blast. Every freaking night is awesome because they're out on the road doing music. And there's that hunger level, you know. It's like, oh, we're in the van, we're in the trenches, we're really working hard to make this something.
Yeah, so you mentioned the debut album. Is there new material in the works? Might there be a sophomore album?
There will be soon. Another thing about this band is, you know, we're not together that much.
Right.
You know, we do a lot of gigs when Mo is off, and there's not, you know, it's not like we just get together and write music, but everybody is proficient at songwriting and playing. So it's like, we do a rehearsal, or we're gonna go on the road for a week, we'll whip up 3 or 4 or 6 tunes.
Oh, wow.
You know, in sound checks, just because everybody's got new tunes, everybody's hungry. So, you know, we're actually, Nick wrote a new tune. I don't think we're gonna play it today, but it was rehearsed at rehearsal that I wasn't even at, and now the tune's basically together. It's just we probably won't do it on, you know, on a big stage like this, but within the next couple of weeks we'll be rolling out some more new music just because it's just happening quick, so it's good.
One thing about the Americana, bluegrass, acoustic scene, whatever you want to talk about, however you want to term it, a lot of times it seems like who wrote the song doesn't really matter, and there's this whole well of material, whether it's traditionals or covers. Right. Is that part of the Floodwood philosophy to bring in these cool covers and traditionals to the set?
Absolutely. We have a bunch of traditional songs that we're playing. Not a bunch, I mean a few. We're maybe 50-50 in covers to original. It's actually probably more like 70-30 originals to covers. Yeah. But a lot of the covers are traditional music, and we Floodwoodize them, we change them. So we're not going to play a traditional bluegrass song like a traditional bluegrass song. We're going to put some weird arrangement in it. We'll change the front, we'll change the back, we'll do something to it so that it's like, this song sounds familiar. Oh, this is the song once you're in it, Right. So we do tend to try to do that quite a bit with cover music. Yeah. Just do something to make it Floodwood.
Sure. So moving along to Mo, an exciting time for that band is coming really soon. You have your album release. You have the album release show in New York. Yeah. Just briefly, tell us a little bit about the making of that album and maybe how you would, maybe bands don't like this question, but how would you kind of compare it to the recent releases?
This album has gone through a process different than most, just because originally we were going to record at one place with one producer, and it was going to be an acoustic Mo album, a little rootsier, a little more scaled down. Things didn't work out with the producer or the place we were going to do it. We hired another producer that's a friend of ours from LA, who's works with Snoop Dogg a lot, and he's in that LA sort of rap scene and hip hop and stuff. And we're like, but he's been on a lot of great records. He knows what he's doing. So we're like, well, don't use Dave. He's been a friend of ours 15 years. He knows us. He's seen us 30, 40 times. He knows what we like to do. He has a whole process of what he does. Let's do it. So we were going to move it out to LA at his studio. And then that didn't work out. We had to move it back east because of family conflict. And we ended up doing it at a place in Connecticut, Carriage House, which we've recorded at before. It's a very comfortable place. They got great gear. So we went and did this album, which is completely different than what we were expecting to do, yet it's very Mo. Yeah. It sounds like a Mo record. As far as the excitement and the comparison to past records, every time we make a new record, I think it's the greatest thing we've done, because it's new, it's fresh. This process was pretty easy. We went in, we recorded a bunch of songs we never played before, but Dave had a way of wanting us to he wanted us to sound like Mo. He wasn't looking to make us sound different. Right. He's like, you know what, this is what your fans like, so play it. So, we have a bunch of new tunes that we freaking played the shit out of. I hope this isn't recorded.
Well, that's fine.
So like, there's a lot of new material. There's some older songs, but we picked, from older songs that we have that are very strong. So I think a total of the material with bonus stuff is about 14 songs. I think there's either 10 or 11 on the album, and then there's 4 bonus. They're all very strong, very good tunes in those. 7 new ones, and 7 things that you may or may not have heard.
Yeah. So a band, within the jam band scene, there is a perception that it's a live medium and the albums aren't very good. Right. And you could point to a lot of examples that disprove that, from Billy Breath's American Beauty to I think Tin Cans and Car Tires. Now, right. Is it sort of a thing where you go in the studio that, all right, we need to kind of, is there like a little bit of a chip on your shoulder that it's not assumed that it's going to be a great album, to maybe the outside viewers, listeners? I
don't know. I find doing an album, like, I do hear that in this genre. This is the only genre where you can really say that, because we're all out on the road playing live all the time. Right. So, and the fans, can't say the fans don't care, but they don't care as much about the albums, right? So every other band on the planet, although it's changing some, has always made albums and then toured. So you're touring this album as support. Right. Jam bands, they tour all the time and then they go make an album. Mo has always had the philosophy of making good albums. Right. So like, and I think it's different with us than a lot of bands, and it could just be my scene because it's my band, whatever, but I always feel that our albums stand up on their own. minus the live music, that
Yeah.
we make really good albums, and they sound like an album.
Right.
And we've always just had a focus on that. When we go in to make an album, it's going to be a good album. It's not going to be regardless of whether they're playing songs we've played live or whether we're playing new songs, we're going to make a good album.
Yep.
And even when we make these albums of songs that we've done, they get produced so that we cut out all the fat. We strip the song down to its inner core of the good song itself, and we play that. So that's kind of the way I've always felt about our albums. Does it happen in the jam band genre? All the time. And I've heard some of those albums too that I'm like, that's
Right.
not that great an album. But I've also heard some great ones. So
Good. All right. Well, thanks, Vinnie.
My pleasure.
We got, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.